let's talk about some of the new guys and maybe some of the impact that it's had and the impact that it's maybe had on those guys individually. And I'll start with Marat Khusnutdinov. Now, the English is not great, but it's good enough that he can communicate. And we had a quick conversation yesterday before the game, and I tried to ask him, A, how do you pronounce your name? And B, how is this different for you coming from Minnesota? And he was so excited, and he felt like it was going to be such a good fit for him, in part because he was playing fourth line minutes and he was doing some penalty killing. Well, his minutes have gone up. Like, I don't think it looks like a lot, but if you were playing 8 or 9 minutes and it's gone to close to 13, that's significant. Plus, he's playing with some guys who have some skill. He's playing in a different role. He's excited. So that's number one. Let's go with Henri Jokiharju. Different flavor for the Bruins in the back end. A guy who asked to be traded out of Buffalo, who will be an unrestricted free agent at season's end. Clearly motivated. I think he was excited the fact that the Bruins were in the mix. Whether or not he lands with the Bruins beyond this season, I think that, that's still to be determined. But obviously he has something to prove, and he has something to prove in a different situation. Jakub Lauko was in and out of the lineup for the Minnesota Wild. Part of that had to do with injuries. Well, now he's back. He understands the situation. He understands Boston, and he understands the culture. So another guy, clearly motivated, Casey Mittelstadt. Let's take him as an example. Didn't work out for him in Buffalo. He gets traded to the Colorado Avalanche. I talked to some of the Avalanche people here in the last couple of days, what was going on with Mittelstadt. And I think, once they made the trade for Brock Nelson, he became a guy that they're like, listen, if I've got a guy like Brock Nelson who's going to man my second line, I don't know if Casey fits as a third line center. So he became available to other teams, and the Bruins made a hockey trade. They traded Charlie Coyle for Casey Mittelstadt, two very different players. But Casey has an opportunity to come in to play with some really good players. He wasn't playing on the man advantage as much with the Avalanche. He has that opportunity. He made a great play last night to set up the opening goal that David Pastrnak scored that helped fuel the rally. And we can talk about the power of the power play maybe later on if you want, or in another podcast. But so he's also a guy who's motivated. Different situation. How does it fit for him? And can he take advantage playing with some better players that maybe he did not have that opportunity to do regularly in Colorado? So those are just 4 guys in particular. And I also think that the style that those guys play is a little different from what we've seen with the Bruins. With Brandon Carlo, listen, a terrific player. All those guys who were here and departed, they were all great Bruins, really good Bruins, but all different players from the ones that the Bruins acquired. And down the road, I don't know if we'll have an opportunity to see Fraser Minten. I think maybe there's a chance here before the end of the season. I'm really interested to see what he looks like. He was the prospect that the Bruins acquired in the Brandon Carlo trade to Toronto. And I talked to a number of different scouts yesterday, and they like him. He projects a lot like Charlie Coyle. He's not as big as Charlie Coyle. He's left-handed, but a character player. And that becomes another option for the Bruins down the middle. I think that they tried to fortify things down the middle with some of the moves that they've made, and they've gotten some guys who can drive play a little bit more from the middle, and that's part of what we've seen here in a very small sample size.
Honestly, this is exactly the kind of stuff we needed to hear. I love the breakdown of all the additions. By the way, are you hearing that? That little singing? Yeah. That's my oven. That's my appliances are deciding right now to be part of the podcast. They're excited to be in the podcast as well. I don't know what the hell my oven's doing.
What are you making?
But I'll figure it out. What's that? It's just going off. I don't know. I'm looking at it. It's buzzing right now, and I'll get up soon and turn it off at some point. But anyway, my oven has joined the show. I'll get up and I don't know what's going on.
Who said you had? I thought that was a great toss right there.
But my tosses? No, they're not. I'm still working on them.
That the oven has joined the show. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know what it's doing. It's not welcome, but we'll figure it out. But no, I loved your read on all the guys and their potential roles or where they're coming from or what worked and what didn't. I don't have much to add there except that having seen Lauko here before, I will say he is a very good. Yeah, should I just get up and turn it off? I don't know.
No,
I'll wait.
I want to hear it. I think it's fantastic. I think it just adds to the podcast.
Oh God. It's going to keep going.
Told, I have some appliances. That's the way they make some of these appliances. I don't think my oven plays any songs, but my dishwasher definitely does.
Yeah, I don't know what these jingles and sometimes if I run my dryer and I go to sleep, it's like singing along for hours until I get up. So anyway, I will get up to turn this off because it's going to drive me crazy. But Lauko is a very good room guy, which I think is important. Very positive, bubbly, very good room guy. So I think that's going to be, a nice re-addition. We'll see how he does with this new opportunity with the Boston Bruins.